Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you had an awesome week so far. It's Friday. We're almost through the weekend, so let's do this. Last week I posted up a poll in the Facebook group asking you guys what kind of videos you wanted me to make this week. And I posted some things like asking about maybe some personal stories from me, some of my favorite books, and the number one video you guys actually wanted me to talk about was this quote by Bruce Lee called The Art of Fighting Without Fighting. So what I'm going to do right now is post a clip of the scene from one of his movies that this quote refers to, and then we're going to talk about it.
係咯，我嘅錢㗎。
Don't waste yourself.
What's your style?
My style? You can call it the art of fighting without fighting.
The art of fighting without fighting? Show me some of it.
Later. All right. Don't you think we need more room?
Where else?
That island on the beach. We can take this ball.
Okay. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Hey, are you crazy? Pull me in. Pull me in.
Don't try to pull yourself up,
Get me out of this
or I'll let go the line.
All right, so obviously this is within like a movie setting. It wasn't a real quote that he said, so it was a little bit of Hollywood, it was a little bit of acting, but I think the point still stands of what he was trying to do. So obviously what the scene is trying to depict is how using martial arts doesn't always mean that we have to fight and use our hands and feet to get out of a situation, right? We can use our minds and then cleverly try to fool our opponent in different ways. So I wanted to talk about this a little bit and how it pertains to martial arts in general, and then how it's affected my mindset when it comes into martial arts training. So in martial arts, we obviously train to use our hands and feet in self-defense and combat, right? And it might seem counterintuitive to be talking about not using the skills that we work on, but what I'm not trying to say is that there's no place, right, to use your skills. There's obviously a time and a place where if you need to defend yourself and you have no other choice, then of course you can use the tools and the weapons that we've taught you how to use to protect yourself. Everyone has that right to self-preservation, to keep themselves safe. So if someone's trying to attack you, of course you can use martial arts to defend yourself. But that should be a last resort. We really shouldn't make, physical confrontation our primary weapon. So if someone's being aggressive with you, you don't just go and punch them, right? You're going to get in trouble with the law most likely if you do that. And there's a lot of different things that we can do. Now, there's this really awesome book called Verbal Judo. It's by George Thompson. And what the book is all about is using our words to diffuse situations, right? There's actually this awesome video that I shared on my personal Facebook page. So if you guys are friends with me, you can go back and check it out. I don't post very often, so you should be able to find it pretty easily. But anyway, on my personal Facebook page, where it's a self-defense instructor talking about using words to diffuse a situation. So one of the examples he gave was there was this lawyer who had just put somebody in jail in court, right? They had just finished the case and the guy got prosecuted. And his brother, the one who was going to jail, his brother comes out of the courtroom with a motorcycle helmet. It's like charging at the guy, ready to literally kill him with the helmet. And what this lawyer does to diffuse the situation is, as the guy's running towards him, he goes, "Oh, you drive a motorcycle too? What kind of bike do you have?" And, you know, the guy who was running at him was still very angry and just kind of confused, but it caused him to stutter and to stop for a second and think. And he says, it's Kawasaki, whatever. And he's like, oh, you know, he's still angry. And, you know, the lawyer keeps going off of this. He says, oh, man, you know, I used to ride. I used to have a bike. I miss it. I miss it so much. I really wish that that I still had it. I had to sell it when my baby girl was born. And he just goes on and on and on. And eventually, the guy who was going to attack him he's still frustrated and angry, but he lost that initial momentum of like going from literally trying to kill him to just getting pissed off. And then he just went off in the other direction, said a few choice words to the guy, and then he left. So that's an example of where someone was literally running at a lawyer trying to physically harm him. And then I think a lot of people would agree that that lawyer would have had every right to defend himself had it gone down to that. But instead of choosing violence as his first go-to move, he paused and he tried to divert the attack by using a different method, by trying to distract his attacker in what we would call verbal judo. You know, judo is a Japanese martial art that's all about grappling. So obviously it's a little bit of a play on words, but he's using his words to wrestle his opponent to the ground and to divert the attack away. And that's what Bruce Lee did in the quote we just saw. He tricked the guy and got him into a point where Bruce Lee didn't have to hurt him, and he didn't have to get hurt. And he managed to de-escalate the situation, even though he was being tricky, right? He was able to use verbal judo to defend himself instead of real judo. Okay? So here's the mindset that I've always gotten into with my martial arts training, is that if you're comfortable with yourself and in your training, and you feel confident that if you needed to protect yourself, you could, you don't feel the need to prove yourself. You can drop your ego. So if there's a situation where someone's being aggressive, you might be easy to jump to the mindset of, let me show this guy who's boss. Let me show him what I'm made of, and he'll regret trying to attack me. And I understand, as human beings, that our natural instinct is sort of to puff our chest when we're being attacked and to try to fight back. But, you know, ultimately you have to think of the aim of martial arts training, right? There's a lot of mental elements to it too, but if we're talking about just the meaning of martial arts, right, combat, is self-defense, self-preservation, and that's what we use it for. And if there's a way to protect yourself without using violence, then as martial artists, we're called to do that thing, to try to divert the attack without hurting other people, right? In our training, we realize our bodies are very, very powerful. We can inflict a lot of damage with our hands and feet, and we know that we can be very dangerous. And it's important that we realize this. And, you know, even though someone may be trying to hurt me or hurt someone I care about, I don't want to have to hurt them. I don't want to have to use martial arts to defend myself, because I know that means that either me or them will get seriously injured. And, you know, it's tough, because if my life was threatened, of course I would use martial arts to try to protect myself with everything I had. I wouldn't give in at all. But if there's a way that we can try, at least first, to get around it, then we need to try that first, so that we can try to avoid a physical confrontation where one or two people would get very, very injured. So for example, the lawyer could have tried this technique, and if the guy didn't stop or hesitate and just kept coming at him with that helmet, then the lawyer would have had to do something to protect himself. No, I'm not saying he would have had to just stand there and not protect himself, but what you can do is try something first, and then when that doesn't work, you use your martial arts skills to protect yourself as a last resort. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you have any questions or discussion about this, I'd love to hear what you guys think. And then hopefully you enjoyed that little clip of Bruce Lee. I don't remember what movie it's from, but I'm sure you can find it. No problem. It's really good. All right. See you guys. Have a good weekend. Bye.